What's good, fam? N.O.R.E just celebrated 10 years of Drink Champs on June 11th, 2026, and he definitely expected the world to give him his flowers today. Instead of taking a victory lap, he walked right into the massive anniversary landmine that has the whole culture looking at him sideways. You would expect a man who spent a decade building a podcast empire to be celebrating, but the energy right now is looking incredibly shaky. Hitting 500 episodes back in May with Jay Farrow was a huge win, yet the Revolt TV special on June 11th shifted the conversation toward empty chairs. N.O.R.E and DJ EFN are currently out on a high-profile press run that feels more like a defensive crouch than a real celebration of their legacy. They are trying to explain away this Cold War with the new generation, while the hip-hop world in 2026 moves in a direction they never saw coming. The reality is that the industry is talking more about who is missing from the table than who is actually sitting there right now.
But you know, like you, I feel like you have transcended, you know, you're one of like that era of rappers that has transcended, bro, like, and has become something more than just a rapper.
Even with that 500th episode in the bag, the anniversary feels heavy because the culture might be moving past the Drink Champs format entirely. During those June press rounds, it became obvious that being a legend is no longer a shield against the criticism coming from the younger artists. You can hear the actual frustration in his voice when he talks about hip-hop media, mostly because his old school tactics are finally hitting a wall. Everything boiled over on June 17, 2026, during an exclusive interview with Vice magazine where N.O.R.E dropped a bomb that has the internet buzzing. He claimed that new school rappers are basically terrified to come on the show and face those infamous yellow cups.
So we're taking a shot for that. Let's go.
Thank you.
All right, salute.
Thank you. Cheers, fellas. Thank you.
That is a wild accusation to throw at the artist currently running the charts, and it shows the massive disconnect between the old guard and the youth. N.O.R.E explicitly stated that the alcohol has always been the true star because he uses it to pull those viral admissions out of his guests. He admitted that younger artists are scared of how their comments might follow them forever once the cameras stop rolling and the buzz wears off. His own bias was clear when he said, "Some artists are scared, but most comply because they know he understands how to do it." The 2026 generation looks at that bottle of Tiger Bone and sees a major liability instead of some kind of truth serum for the...
Nah, you just don't want to open because you don't want to drink.
Ah, come on, French. You know I don't do that, French.
I don't do that, though. Like, that ain't really like, you know, that ain't the move.
Tiger Bone or talking about
culture. This is where the drama gets real because N.O.R.E sees booze as a necessary ingredient while these kids see it as a threat to their money. Modern rappers are corporate entities with massive partnerships, so they are being smart about their business instead of just being reckless for views. N.O.R.E is still out here chasing that raw energy from the 90s, but the rappers in 2026 are playing a much more calculated game. He thinks he is providing a service by making them open up, but the youth see his platform as a danger zone for their brands. This is a fundamental clash of values where one side wants vulnerability and the other side just wants to protect their bags and their future. Trying to shame them into coming on the show might just end up alienating the very people he needs to stay relevant for another decade.
For me to come here, you know, 2026, and to promote being on the run, eating for real this time, like, is crazy. I was sitting there having my second coffee.
That Vice interview made it very clear that N.O.R.E is really struggling to accept how the power dynamics in hip-hop media have shifted completely. He is trying to keep his spot as the ultimate gatekeeper by calling the new school scared, but that logic is not sticking with the fans anymore. In 2026, these artists have their own platforms and do not necessarily need to survive the Drink Champs gauntlet just to reach an audience. He claims the stickiness of the comments keeps people away, basically saying they are too soft, but he is totally missing the point. The consequences of a drunk interview are permanent in the digital age, so these younger artists are just being protective of their careers.
I love N.O.R.E, but I'm scared of him. I wouldn't hang with him.
He's a wild dude.
I wouldn't hang with N.O.R.E. Like, this N.O.R.E wouldn't hang with that N.O.R.E.
Newport Chain N.O.R.E is a different N.O.R.E.
No, Newport Chain N.O.R.E is actually a calm down N.O.R.E.
This is just a classic case of a veteran not realizing the game he helped build has evolved past his understanding. He keeps doubling down on the idea that alcohol makes for a better interview, but that might be what turns Drink Champs into a relic of the past. This Cold War brewing right now is fueled by some very specific receipts that new school fans use to call the show exploitative when things go wrong. People still point to that Kodak Black episode in July of 2025 as the moment the platform lost its way with the youth.
Man, it's been a blessing to go from, you know, competition to say, I'm gonna give you a flower.
That episode was a complete mess and felt more like a car crash than a celebration of the culture. Joe Budden led the charge with some very public criticism, dragging N.O.R.E for choosing to air erratic footage of Kodak instead of protecting a brother. That take has since become a major rallying cry for anyone who feels like the show prioritizes viral clicks over the well-being of the artist. It built a narrative that Drink Champs is a place where your lowest moments will be amplified for views, and that is a tough reputation to shake. Even N.O.R.E himself seems to be feeling the weight of these past decisions because he recently expressed a massive amount of regret in an April 2026 OK Player.
That's the level of intelligence. That's the level of kings. That's like Jewish business leader level minds that we have. Chance and Lupe are supercomputers, bro.
Interview. He was talking about that infamous 2022 Kanye West interview that many people consider a turning point for his credibility. He admitted that he should have edited the Ye footage much more heavily before letting it hit the internet, and he knows that failure had a lasting impact. That one interview made the more socially conscious artists of 2026 view his platform as a danger zone where they could lose their entire reputation. The receipts show this backlash is not just about rappers being soft or scared of some liquor. It is actually about a platform that has consistently struggled to handle the massive responsibility that comes with having the most powerful microphone in the culture. The younger generation is watching how he treated the legends who came before them and deciding that the risk of an appearance is not worth it. Before we move on and see how N.O.R.E tried to play damage control on The Breakfast Club, tell me if you think his platform has become a certified danger zone for a rapper's reputation. Is Drink Champs actually helping the culture, or is it just a place where legacies go to die? Tell me in the comments. No cap. While you at it, like and subscribe, and let's continue. On June 16, 2026, N.O.R.E took his defensive tour over to The Breakfast Club, where he tried to shut down the narrative that he is just another old gatekeeper. He did not really help his case, though, because he ended up arguing that the new wave of rappers is failing to match the fire of previous generations.
I love War Report N.O.R.E, but I'm scared of him. I wouldn't hang with him.
He's a wild dude.
I wouldn't hang with N.O.R.E.
Yeah.
Like, this N.O.R.E wouldn't hang with that N.O.R.E.
Newport Chain N.O.R.E is a different N.O.R.E.
No, Newport Chain N.O.R.E is actually a calm down N.O.R.E.
That kind of talk is a direct shot at the artist currently dominating the streaming charts, and it has done nothing but alienate the younger audience further. Earlier this year, in February, commentators were already pointing out a trend where veteran artists in their 40s were accused of refusing to step aside. N.O.R.E is now the face of that movement, essentially telling the youth they are not good enough unless they act like it is 1998. He is acting like a gatekeeper while complaining that nobody is knocking on his door, which is a wild double standard fans are calling out. N.O.R.E really tried to silence the critics by announcing on June 15th that he is currently in the studio with Dr. Dre. While that move is a massive flex that locks him in with the old guard, it also proves exactly why the younger generation is moving away from his platform. By aligning himself so closely with the ultimate legends, he is showing the world that he would rather live in the past than adapt to the 2026 sound. He is choosing to stay in a comfortable bubble with the greats, while the rest of the industry moves into a new era that he is actively fighting against. This safe play with Dre will get respect from the older heads, but it does nothing to bridge the gap with the rappers who actually run the culture right now.
But you know, like I feel like you have transcended. You know, you're one of that era of rappers that has transcended, bro. Like, and has become something more than just a rapper.
N.O.R.E is making it very clear that if you do not respect history his way, you might not have a place in his world, which is a dangerous game to play when the youth decide what stays relevant. The real issue here is that Drink Champs is accidentally turning into a museum for the golden age instead of serving as a bridge to the future. Most successful platforms in 2026 are moving toward a curated and brand-safe interview style that respects the corporate side of the game. N.O.R.E is still leaning heavily into that messy and unfiltered approach, which is starting to look incredibly out of date after a decade on top. If he does not pivot away from this alcohol trap format very soon, the show will completely lose its cultural relevance with Gen Z and Alpha listeners by 2027. Younger audiences do not value that kind of drunk vulnerability, and they are gravitating toward interviews where the artist stays in control of their own narrative. While N.O.R.E doubles down on the chaos, other platforms are winning the viewership wars by offering a professional environment that does not require a guest to risk their entire career. This collaboration with Dr. Dre is the perfect example of a safe play because it secures a legacy while doing nothing to end the Cold War with chart-topping artists.
Man, it's been a blessing to go from, competition to say, I'm gonna give you a flower.
N.O.R.E clearly did not see the professionalization of the rapper coming, and he is struggling with the fact that these artists are corporate entities first. Back in the 90s, you could get a rapper in a room with a bottle to get the real story, but those days are long gone. In 2026, that same artist has a team of publicists and legal advisors who will never let them near a situation that risky. N.O.R.E thinks he is keeping it real, but the world has moved to a place where being real means being smart about your business and your longevity. By refusing to adapt his format to this new reality, he is locking his show in a time capsule that only appeals to people who want to relive the past. As we look at this 10-year milestone, it is obvious that N.O.R.E has reached a massive breaking point with his platform. He built something incredible that changed the media game, but this anniversary shows he is standing at a crossroads he never expected to face. The backlash he is seeing right now is just the sound of the entire industry changing while he chooses to stay exactly the same. You can only shout about rappers being scared for so long before people realize that you are the one who is out of touch with the current climate. Hip-hop has evolved into a multi-billion-dollar corporate machine, and that old hangout style of journalism is being replaced by a more strategic form of media engagement. N.O.R.E is a giant in this space, but even giants get left behind if they refuse to see which way the wind is blowing.
But you know, like you, I feel like you have transcended. You know, you're one of that era of rappers that has transcended, bro. Like, and has become something more than just a rapper.
The legacy of Drink Champs is secure in the history books, but the future depends on whether N.O.R.E can stop gatekeeping and start understanding the new generation. He has the receipts and the respect of the legends, but that only takes you so far when the youth control the attention economy. It is a tough pill to swallow for a man who has been at the top for so long, but this anniversary should be a wake-up call rather than just a party. We are watching the transition of an era in real time, and we will see if N.O.R.E is part of the next decade or just a memory of the last one. Tell me if you think N.O.R.E is right about the new school being scared, or if he is the one who is out of touch. Tell me in the comments, no cap. While you are at it, like and subscribe for more hip-hop drama.